guys, DeonDrug7 here, and welcome back to another Pokemon anime episode review. Today we're going to be reviewing Pokemon Journeys episode 49, Chloe and the Mysterious Eevee. Now you guys are probably wondering, why is this video coming out on a Tuesday instead of a Monday? Well, let's just say it would have came out today as of this recording, Monday, because I usually record my videos a day before. But something bizarre happened. Power outage, how convenient. So, obviously without Wi-Fi, I wasn't going to be able to, edit and upload it and schedule it and stuff like that. So I was just like, you know what, until my power comes back on, we're not going to record a video and stuff like that. My power came back around like 6 a.m. in the morning. Obviously, I'm not going to record a video that early because everyone is still asleep. So, of course, we're here now. At least these videos don't take forever to, edit and upload and all that stuff, but you guys don't care about my personal life, you guys just want to see the reviews. So I never said this in any of my previous reviews, but spoiler warning. So yeah, let's just get right to the review. But before we start off this video, I don't really like doing this like very early in the video. I would rather do it at the end, but most of y'all usually dip when I'm done with the reviews and all those other videos, so I'm just gonna say it now. Make sure you guys smack that like button and also subscribe and join the chill army. I post Pokemon content like 3 times a week, so if any of that stuff interests you, subscribe. Now on to the video. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to discuss the major events of the episode. I'm also going to discuss the plot, the characters, and then my overall opinion of the episode. So this video might go quick depending on how much I ramble on. So first major point we're going to talk about is, the most important point of the episode, Chloe catching an Eevee, making it her first personally owned Pokemon, basically her starter Pokemon, because, Yamper isn't really Chloe's. It's kind of like a Clement and Bonnie situation with Chloe. Like, it's Professor Cerise's Yamper, but, Chloe's the one who mainly, looks after it, really. So, what do I think of Chloe getting an Eevee? Now, I was at first against it. Okay, don't get me wrong, I like Eevee. I don't love it, but Eevee's an interesting Pokemon. Multiple evolutions, that's a pretty cool concept. But honestly, I wasn't really a fan of, at first I wasn't a fan because, of the fact that they've given 4 female companions an Eevee already, and Ash still has yet to get himself an Eevee. I'm still pissed about them giving Eevee to Lana of all people. See, first we had May with her Eevee, which eventually evolved into a Glaceon, which, obviously people didn't really mind that because, no main character has gotten an Eevee at that point. And of course we have Dawn and Iris after May, who didn't receive an Eevee at all. Then we had Serena in the X and Y anime. She got an Eevee, which honestly I didn't really care for, since, I don't know, none of Serena's Pokemon were really interesting for me. That's just my opinion, but we're not here to talk about that. That's for another story. It eventually evolved into a Sylveon, yada yada yada. Didn't really care for it. Then came Sun and Moon, when we all thought that Ash, well, a majority of us, I can't say all of us, but majority of us thought that, Ash was going to get an Eevee, and then they ended up giving Eevee to Lana. That's the second time that we've been bamboozled for Pokemon. First it was that shiny Phantup in X and Y, and then we have Eevee in Sun and Moon. Like, literally, they advertised that Eevee like Ash was gonna like get it or something like that. Like, they made it seem like this Eevee was like special. The only thing about it was its hair. And the fact that it liked to swim, apparently, and then Lana caught it, and then we just didn't really care about Eevee anymore. So, yeah. So, whatever. Now we have Chloe's Eevee, and honestly, Chloe's Eevee might end up becoming my favorite Eevee that a main character has owned. Because, at first I didn't really like the fact that she was getting an Eevee, but I noticed something throughout the episode that like I noticed afterwards, okay? So first of all, her Eevee is adorable. I love how she like tries to imitate every other Pokemon that she sees. I love it. Second of all, her Eevee has like this weird thing about it. For those of you who saw the episode, some of y'all are watching this even though there are spoilers, but you know, you guys have balls, okay? You guys have balls. But then again, I don't really care about spoilers myself. I'm the type of person where it's like I'll be watching like a series on Netflix or something. Well, I don't have Netflix, but like let's just say like I'll be watching like I'll be binging the Mandalorian, and you know, I'll look at the wiki of it just to see like what's going on, but I'll still watch it either way. But you guys don't care about that. Anyways, you know, her Eevee, like when it was like in the lab when the researchers were giving her like all those evolution stones and she was touching them, she was eager to evolve, or she was like at least curious about like what would happen too. And when she touched the evolution stone, she started evolving, and then she just stopped. Like it was just weird. Even she was confused. And then they revealed at the end that maybe this is like a theory that they came up with, that they proposed the idea that this Eevee is, you know, this Eevee is hesitant about what path she wants to take in evolution. Does she want to evolve into an Espeon, an Umbreon, a Vaporeon, Flareon, Jolteon, Sylveon? You know the gist. She doesn't know what she wants to evolve into. So I find that pretty interesting. Kind of reminds me of that one character, Sakura, from the Johto saga in the original series, where she had an Eevee that didn't know what evolution it wanted to evolve into. Like, you know, they didn't know if she wanted to evolve into, you know, she didn't know which Eevee she wanted to evolve into. And then eventually, you know, she came back in a later Johto episode, and her Eevee evolved into an Espeon. So maybe they might do that with Koharu, because I kind of propose that there's two theories about why she's hesitant about evolving. One idea that I came up with is that, well, it's probably the most likely one. It's that it's a Gigantamax Eevee. So for those of you who don't know, Gigantamax Pikachu and Gigantamax Eevee and also Gigantamax Meowth, they are the only pre-evolved form Pokemon. Those are the only non-fully evolved Pokemon that can evolve into, that can Gigantamax, not evolve into, but they can Gigantamax. But there's a catch. They cannot evolve unless you remove the Gigantamax factor, which you can do so by feeding it Max Soup, allowing it to just Dynamax, not Gigantamax. So apparently this Eevee can't evolve mainly because of that. But there's also the fact that Ash's Pikachu can also Gigantamax. And, you know, there was that Pikachu episode where Go caught Pikachu, and Ash was, you know, we all thought that, we all knew that it was just a clickbait or whatever, but, you know, in the story perspective, Ash saw the glowing light, and, you know, Ash and Go thought that Pikachu had evolved, and turns out it was just another Pikachu that got hit by the Thunderstone, that touched the Thunderstone. So, apparently, Pikachu, you know, so it's hinted at that Pikachu can still evolve if it touches a Thunderstone. So I don't really think that's the reason why it can't evolve. I mean, maybe they're going to have Koharu or Chloe visit the Galar region, and then Eevee's going to evolve. But I honestly, I mean, not evolve, but, you know, Gigantamax or whatever. But only time will tell. The other idea that I had was the fact that Eevee might be getting a new evolution. Who knows, like maybe they might reveal a new evolution through the anime, kind of like what they did with Ash's Lycanroc, where, you know, Rockruff evolved into the Dusk form Lycanroc. Everyone was like, what the heck, is this an anime exclusive thing? And then, you know, we got Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and bam, we got we got Dusk Form Lycanroc as like a special event Pokemon in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So they might be doing that with Eevee. Like they might have Eevee evolve into some new evolution, and then like, you know, once Gen 9 is around the corner, you know, that's when the new evolution will be revealed to be in that generation specifically. So that's what I kind of thought. So that's kind of my idea. Those are my two ideas of what might happen, because, you know, with the way that Journeys goes, it's like, who knows what's gonna happen. I mean, Ash caught a Farfetch'd, something I never thought would happen in a million years. Another thing I like about Eevee, Chloe's Eevee, is it's kind of a parallel to her. So, you know, just like Eevee, Koharu doesn't exactly know what she wants to do in life, you know? She knows what, it's like, when she was first revealed, she was like a character, it's like, she represents the person where it's like, they know what Pokemon are, but they don't really care for it, you know? I think Koharu can be like relatable to a lot of people, where it's like, you know, all these people are out here doing great things, but Koharu or Chloe, I'm sorry, I keep alternating between the two. It's just, you know, sometimes I call them by the Japanese name, sometimes I call them by the English name, my bad. So Chloe, you know, she doesn't really know what she wants to do, and like, you know, she's not exactly sure what path to take. Does she want to be a researcher? Does she want to be a Pokemon trainer? Does she want to catch every Pokemon like Go does, you know? And she did bring up like a good argument. It's like, you know, why she said in like earlier in the episode when she and Go were on their way to school, which it was also revealed that Go still attends the Pokemon school, but, you know, he only attends school to take exams. So I mean, that's pretty interesting. I kind of like that, because I mean, I kind of found it weird where it's like I was like, did Go just drop out of school or what? So, you know, I'm glad they finally cleared that up for me, because I'm like, wait, so is Go a Pokemon equivalent of a school dropout? But that's not important. But on their way to school, Chloe did bring up the question where she was like, why does everyone expect me to catch a Pokemon simply because my father is a professor? So, you know, that was a pretty good argument. You know, Chloe's becoming a lot more likable, because, like, you know, as I said in the last episode, I went from just not care. I don't hate Chloe, but like, I went from not standing her, like, just did not care about her, to somewhat interested in where she's going with this. So yeah, that's my take on like with Chloe catching Eevee. Then we also have Chloe getting a Rotom phone from her father, Professor Cerise, and I'm kind of intrigued on where they're going with this, because that is a pretty big hint that Koharu, or I keep saying Koharu, Chloe, that's a big hint that Chloe might actually be traveling with Ash and Go more often in future episodes, which I'm pretty excited for, because, you know, at first I was like, what is your purpose? Why are you here? And now I'm like, I wonder where they're going with this. I wonder what other Pokemon she's going to be catching, and, you know, stuff like that. So Chloe, you know, I mean, Chloe is going to be in the next episode, in episode 50, which is focusing on the Galar fossils, where she goes to Galar with Ash and Go to, I guess, research the Galar fossils. So I'm pretty intrigued on that. I just hope that, you know, they actually do stuff with her, you know, she's not just there. Because my big problem with Chloe is that, you know, due to the fact that, you know, she's just there, she kind of turns me off as a character, because it's like, how do you expect me to care for a character that does nothing? You feel me? Okay, let's talk about the plot. This plot, I'm sorry, this plot was kind of weak. I liked what they did with the characters, but I don't like how they delivered the plot. You feel me? So, you know, if you look at it in an analytic kind of way, I don't know if I'm using that term correctly, analytic, but if you look at it as like, you know, an episode reviewer, I mean, I'm not trying to say that I'm like some big movie reviewer or TV show reviewer. I'm just a broke college student who talks about Pokemon, trying to make a living off of it, but YouTube doesn't freaking monetize me. We're not here to talk about that, DeAndre. But I don't like how they delivered it, because, you know, it was just the basic Pokemon of the day, Team Rocket, you know, it was like Pokemon of the day, you know, Ash and the gang helps out Pokemon, Team Rocket intervenes, being annoying, because, you know, they need some other type of they need some type of conflict to end off the episode, and, you know, Team Rocket blasts off, and conclusion. You know, it was basically, you know, beginning. It was like the beginning, setup, conflict, conclusion. That's really what they do in like the basic Pokemon episodes. So, yeah, wasn't really a big fan on how they delivered that. Like, I feel like we could have done without Team Rocket in the plot, because I feel like the researchers were fine, you know? We didn't need a villain in this episode, you know? It literally, all they could have done was, like, you know, Go and Chloe, they battle against the researchers who were chasing after them, but then they reveal that it was a whole misunderstanding, that they're not bad guys, that Eevee belongs to them. Really my whole critique on that plot. I just wasn't a big fan on how they delivered it. Now let's talk about the characters. We didn't really get to see much of Ash. I mean, it was basically Ash took Yamper on a walk, and then Yamper kind of just wandered off, found Eevee, and then later half of that episode, Ash just kind of got pitfalled, which honestly I felt a little nostalgic. It's been a while since we've seen Team Rocket use a pitfall trap, so I love it. Go, again, I do like how we got more, I'm glad that we understand, like, his whole thing now. So, his whole situation with school. So we have Go, Go is a research fellow of Professor Cerise, but he didn't just drop out of school, okay? He only attends school to take his exams and stuff like that. So I'm glad that he's still like a student, but like majority of the time he's a research student fellow guy. So yeah, I kind of like what they did with Go there. And it was kind of weird seeing Go in school uniform. That's just me. I found it pretty weird seeing him in school uniform. Team Rocket, they were just annoying. I'm sorry. As much as I like Team Rocket, they just came off as annoying, especially, and I found them really creepy in this episode when they disguised themselves as like little school kids. I'm sorry, but that just made me really uncomfortable, and I was like, ew, like, why? Out of all of the disguises you could have done, you decide to be little cute schoolgirls. That's just disgusting to me. Like, I didn't feel good about that. That made me, ugh. So, yeah. Plus, again, like I said about, like, when I was talking about the plot, we could have done without Team Rocket, honestly. Next up, we have Chloe, the main character of this episode. I'm glad that we are actually getting, more Chloe-centric episodes now, and I'm glad that she's actually, beginning to, get interested in the world of Pokemon. So that way, she's not annoying me, she's not getting on my nerves, she's not just there because, I don't know, female character, I don't know. I'm glad she's not there just because. I'm glad they're actually doing stuff with her. So, yeah. And of course, we had the lab assistants and Matsubara, I think that was her name. The girl with the Glaceon hair or whatever. They were just characters. They were just there to set up the episode. Let's just be real. We needed some reason for an Eevee to just be in Vermillion City like that, alright? So, yeah, that's my take on the characters. Now, my overall thoughts on the episode as a whole. This episode was okay. Like, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good episode, but it wasn't a good episode, but it wasn't terrible. You feel me? Like, you know, there were some parts that I did not like, where, you know, again, I didn't like the pacing of the plot or Team Rocket in general in this episode. Like, we really could have done without Team Rocket in this episode. Like, I wish we could have actually focused on just Chloe and Eevee basically bonding and stuff like that, so it's not just like, oh hey, cute Pokemon, I catch. We bonded after like 5 minutes, I catch you. Like, no, I wish we would actually gotten, you know, Eevee interacting with Chloe a lot more and stuff like that to actually build the relationship and stuff like that. But no, we just got a Pokemon of the Day kind of episode, so you know, you can't have what you want. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. And of course, again, like, we did not need Team Rocket in that episode at all. We could have done just fine with the research assistants. But there were parts I like the fact that Eevee, I mean, I know Eevee can learn Spark, I think. I'm gonna research that after that. But I do like how, you know, Eevee likes to copycat things. Like, it kind of reminds me of the Eevee from Let's Go. That's what Sandy, you know, Lana's Eevee, that's what they should have done with Lana's Eevee. But no, it was basically just Lana catching an Eevee with a bad haircut. So I really hope that, you know, they actually do something interesting with Lana's Eevee. Like, it makes me intrigued, like, what's next for Chloe. You know, it makes me wonder. I like how the episode makes me wonder what's next for these two. What's next for Chloe and Eevee? And I hope they don't pull what they did with Ash and Farfetch, where Ash caught Farfetched and we just don't see any Ash and Farfetch'd interactions. So I hope that we have Ash and Chloe. I mean, not Ash and Chloe. I hope we have Chloe and Eevee actually interacting with each other and stuff like that. You know, I hope we get to see more of that, is what I'm trying to say. Guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you guys smack that like button if you haven't yet. And if you guys want more content like this, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. It's 100% free. And be sure to check out some of my other content as well. Only good, Shell Army.